Hey, it's Suster2582 coming back at you with another video, and today I'll be reviewing some Hot Wheels premium diecast. This is actually from the 2026 car culture set, which is actually, fun fact, the box says it's celebrating their 10th anniversary, so that's pretty cool. And it's part of the vintage racing segment, and it's just gonna be these two. As I mentioned before, I love racing stuff, but I'll be honest, these are the only two I really wanted. So we have number 205, which is the Porsche 917K in this beautiful Gulf livery. And the second one is this 1976 or just 76 Greenwood Corvette. This beautiful red number 50 color, which we'll touch up on in just a second with both of these. So both of them, I found them at Target. Thankfully, they were both there. The Porsche, there was only one of them, so I'm like, I'm gonna take it. And there's two of the Corvette, and I was like, this is probably one of the only other ones I wanted, so I decided to bite the bullet and take it. Let's take a look at one of the boxes in the back here, and there's the rest of the set. Now, of course, this is the return of vintage racing, which we haven't seen in over 10 years, which, it's insane. Fun fact, of course, 10 years, or almost 10 years, I don't know. And, it's cool that they brought back the vintage racing name, but I'll be honest, some of the cars they chose is not the coolest, in my opinion. Sure, I like the Corvette, I like the 917K, how could you not? But some other ones, the Lancia Strato is definitely going to be a peg warmer. The Jaguar XJS looks cool, I saw it, but And of course, there was none of the Ferrari 250 GTO, which I believe is the chase piece in gold, if I remember, or maybe there's another one, I'm not sure. But other than that, these were the only two I liked, so I decided to pick them up. So we're gonna start off with number two out of the five, which is the Porsche 917K. So let me cut the camera real quick and cut the car out of its blister. Alright, so I cut the blister out of its box. I already put my turntable on, and let's take the pretty nice good look at this Porsche 917K here. And first glance, looks great. I don't buy too many of these Porsches, because I'll be honest, they don't really, I don't even remember I think the last time this thing was released was in a Car Culture 3-pack, which of course comes with the transporter. But that was pretty much the only cool one out of the entire set. But then I've heard that this casting actually got a retooling. So, there used to be a 917K, but this is technically the new version or a refurbished version of that casting. So it's a little bit updated. It looks a little bit more accurate. Unfortunately, though, I don't have another one to compare it to, so we're just going to have to take a look at this. Beautiful Gulf livery. The Gulf liveries are always very classic in race cars and such. And a lot of collectors from Hot Wheels like to collect if they collect like Moon Eyes or Golf or 76 or some other, or Union 76, they usually choose one. And I like the Golf colors. It's a classic Le Mans inspired. Of course, I think this one ran at Le Mans, so of course that would make sense. So just taking a look at the finer details here. We got printed headlights. We got the number 20 Golf. Of course, it's its iconic yellow stripe and the iconic baby blue, or even just faded blue, I think you should call it. I don't know. Then we got the number 20 on the side. Golf, orange and black stripe on the bottom. Golf Porsche, number 20, and then Golf. Yep, and that's pretty much it. It's just a Golf Porsche 917 with the number 20 on it. It's very simple. It works, so I think this is definitely one that was going to be very popular pickup, which I understand why there was only one of them left. So I was like, I'll take it. I don't have one. Why not? It's just there. Because why not? It looks cool. The back looks very interesting, but it looks sick though, because it kind of looks like an open wheel from the back. So it's exposed on the back. That's very cool. And I like this type of design of race cars where they just look so sharp. I think when it's trying to go down the Mulsanne straight in Le Mans, I think that's what it's going to be needed for. So yeah, and of course, metal base, painted black base, Porsche 917K, copyright 2026 Mattel, because like I said, I mentioned that this was a retooling of this car, made in Thailand. Yeah, it looks nice. very happy to have it actually. It might not sound like I'm excited about it. It looks cool. How could I not? It's a race car. And of course, speaking of race car, here's the second one we're going to take a look at too. The 1976 Greenwood Corvette. Now, I'll be honest, out of all of them, this will probably be another peg warmer, but I'll be honest, I actually prefer this one rather than that one. And yes, that might be very controversial. I still like that one, but I love American sports car racing, so of course I had to pick this one up because it's kind of loosely based off a real car, which I also do appreciate. And of course, there's the back of the package if you want to take a look at the list again. So let me cut one more time to cut the car out of its blister. Alright, blister has been cut. Not the most perfect thing in the world, but here we go. Nice and heavy model, which of course I do love the Greenwood Corvette. It is one of my favorite castings of all time. Well, one of my favorite Corvettes, not my favorite casting. One of my favorite Corvettes that I like. Of course, it's a race car, so it's not really, I don't know if it really counts, but I mean, it looks cool. I like it. It looks amazing. So yeah, there is the Greenwood Corvette out of its package. Very simple. It's just red, as this one really likes to roll, which is surprising because this one actually has treaded tires instead of the slick tires that the 917 had. But yeah, it's a simple red with the number 50 on it. Even more simpler, of course, than the Porsche. But I just like how this car looks, the shapes. It just looks wild. Just the fact that this was made in the mid 70s, it's actually like it looks even more aerodynamic than nowadays. But whatever. So let's take a look at the finer details real quick. So we got the plastic inserted headlights, which of course is supposed to match the windshield and everything. I think it's all one piece, or maybe it's a separate piece. I'm actually not even sure, because you can actually tell, you could kind of see the bottom of the base. It's a Zamac unpainted base, metal base, and through the headlights you can actually see the rivet insert and everything. That's actually really cool. And I just noticed that. So we got on the hood Chevrolet with the bow tie, number 50, stylized font. Got the front, got the two little black and one little black stripe on the front. Holly, got another Chevrolet bow tie on the side, number 50. BF Goodrich, and then some other little logo I've seen before, but I can't even tell you what it's called. Love the wheels on this one. I guess these are, accurate to what ran at the time. I think they ran these types of wheels, not the exact same wheel type, but like it kind of looks like it. Here's the rear. We got a Chevrolet bow tie, painted taillights, and the painted gas cap. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just red with the number 50 and Chevrolet bow tie and some other little contingency logos. Yeah, it just works. Now, as I mentioned previously, this car was actually based off a real car. Unfortunately, I don't know the name of the driver or anything. I'll probably put a photo up on what it's kind of loosely based off, or what could I find on the internet. So, of course, it is still number 50. It's still red. Although it's not this font, it kind of looks like it, no? It's just, of course, Hot Wheels, they just do random cars, and either they loosely based off of it, or it literally looks like the exact replica of it, besides some of the little missing logos. But yeah, I'm very happy to have this one. Out of all of them, I think I'd prefer getting this one, even though, like I said, it'll probably be a peg warmer, which will be unfortunate, because this is absolutely one of the greatest Corvette castings Hot Wheels has ever done, in my opinion. It just looks great. Of course, my bias as a racing fan, of course, how could I not? And I forgot to show you all the base. So, of course, like I mentioned before, it has treaded tires. It's supposed to look like a vintage tire. But interestingly, the Porsche doesn't have that. It actually has slicks. And of course, unpainted metal base. And copyright 2012 Mattel. So yeah, this casting is already a decade old, surprisingly. Now, speaking of Greenwood Corvette, I actually have another one that I'm going to do a review on. But that'll be the next video. And a hint, yeah, it's another Greenwood Corvette, another one in the premium line, but honestly might actually be better than this one, even though it is an older release. So I guess stay tuned, as this one's trying to roll. So yeah, stay tuned to watch that one. Like I said, it's an oldie, but I think it's going to be a goodie. So yeah, that has been a pretty quick review of two premium 2026 Hot Wheels Car Culture premium models from Vintage Racing, the return of Vintage Racing in the stores. So that's pretty cool. The fact that a failed Hot Wheels line is coming back is actually kind of insane, because of course the vintage racing castings are worth a lot now, because no one bought them at the time, but people maybe are buying them now. So if you enjoyed this review, please give it a like, subscribe. We're trying to reach those 1,000 subscribers. We're getting so close, y'all. I know we can make that very soon, and I really hope so we did. And I'll see you next time. Peace.